My name is Kelly, and I work at FM Ambulance Service there. I am a paramedic by training, and I actually teach in their education department full-time. And I teach a variety of different pre-hospital emergency courses. A few months ago, actually earlier this fall of 2013, I came to Almost Famous with my two daughters, Macy and Bailey. Macy's my oldest and she was 7, and my youngest Bailey was 4. And they had been expressing interest in really wanting to get their ears pierced for quite a while, and I was kind of hesitant because they're so young, and I wasn't sure if once we actually started the process if they would want to finish or not. So one day we were at the mall and we came into Almost Famous, and we actually visited with 2 of the different piercers that were here. And as we were visiting, they were so kind. They showed them the different jewelry. They showed them the room that they would get to come into to have the piercings done. So we came back here, we looked at the room, we got to sit on the bed and just kind of talk about how this is where you would sit and this is how the process would go. They showed them the tools that they would use when they did the piercings. And so it was a really good process where they explained everything to them. And so we actually went home that night then, and the 3 of us, me and my 2 girls, visited about whether or not this is something they truly wanted to do. And they both decided hands down they wanted to get their ears pierced. So we came back the next evening and we were able to get it done, and it worked great. They did a great job explaining the aftercare to both my level of understanding as well as a 4-year-old and 7-year-old. And so they went through the entire process. They showed them the different products that they would want them to use. And they talked to them about, the importance of why we need to do this. You want to make sure your piercings are healing well and things like that. And so they got them to understand why it was important to do. And if it wasn't something they were comfortable doing on their own, that they needed to have their mom or dad help them with that. So they did a great job of making sure they understood that. When we were looking at different places to do ear piercings, there's a couple things that are really important. First of all, I'm very particular. I want to make sure that they have a clean environment. I want to make sure that I don't have to worry about them getting infection or something like that at the place that they're getting pierced at. The other thing I really appreciate about Almost Famous is that all of the piercers are actually trained to be piercers. Like, that is their profession. It's not something that they're just getting as on the job kind of training, like, oh, someone might come in and want their ears pierced, so this is how you do it. So I like the fact that it's clean and that everyone was well trained. The biggest reason for me, though, was I didn't really want this to be some sort of spectacle or display. I always cringe when I'm walking by in the mall and I see these little kids screaming in the stools, getting their ears pierced. They're all, everyone's watching to see if they make a disaster out of it, if they cry, scream, things like that. And so I didn't know how long this was going to take with my 2 girls. I didn't know if they would just sit down and be perfect angels or if they were going to end up screaming and crying. So to be able to have the privacy of our own piercing room where we got to have a connection and a relationship with our piercers was great. And honestly, to pierce 2 girls' ears, this wasn't a quick in and out kind of process because, they're 2 little girls. So they wanted to be very particular about the jewelry that they picked, and then they wanted to make sure they saw everything and touched everything. So I didn't feel like we were rushed. We were in a private, clean room, and it was just a really comfortable experience for us. They are doing great with their piercing. My 4-year-old is now 5, and so her favorite thing to buy is new earrings, and so that's exciting. My 7-year-old actually ended up having a problem just a few weeks into, actually probably a month into her piercing healing. She got it caught on a shirt as she was taking it off. It got caught on the collar and kind of tugged on it really hard, and it got really re-inflamed, and there was some drainage and stuff. And so we came in, we were able to visit with the piercers. They were able to explain to us what had happened, and that basically it was almost like it got re-pierced and it had to start to heal again. And so they gave us some new supplies to use, and we'd already been using the glycerin soap and the sea salt soaps, but they gave us a spray then as well to use. And then they also gave us this little squirt bottle, which is probably the best invention in the world for little kids who have to have their ears soaked with the sea salt solution, because it makes it so much easier. There's no fighting, and it's really quick and efficient. The staff was amazing. We were able to have 2 piercers in the room with us so we could get both lobes done at the same time, which was a huge bonus for us. They were very friendly. They were able to help us find the appropriate jewelry. My oldest daughter has larger earlobes. I call them little fat little earlobes. But she actually needed a longer length post for her earrings, and I didn't even know that was actually an option for her to get. And so they helped us find the appropriate jewelry for each girls to have their starting piercings done in, and it worked great. And I would more more than recommend. I actually do recommend Almost Famous to all of my friends whenever they tell me that they have kids that they're thinking about getting piercings done for. And I explain to them the importance of having a trained technician and having a clean environment and the nice private rooms that are available to have it done in. And they're always appreciative and have the same kind of results that I did.